Welcome to the Your Wedding Unlimited podcast, a space where we break free from tradition, creating a wedding day totally authentic to you and your love story. I'm Abby, UK wedding planner and owner of Elegance Unlimited, here to help you plan a wedding day that feels uniquely yours. Join me for planning tips and advice, endless inspiration, and a pocket full of calm within the chaos that is wedding planning. Consider me a trusted friend, here to walk you through it all. From injecting fun splashes of personality into your day, to reinventing tradition completely, all whilst focused on building a day bespoke to your dreams and desires. I cannot wait to get started, so let's get planning. Welcome. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Your Wedding Unlimited podcast. I am excited to be here as always. I tell you every week how excited I am to be back here recording. I just love doing this. I love being a podcaster, just having a space where I get to just talk to you about weddings all the time. Truly can't think of anything better. So thank you for joining me. If you are a returning listener, thank you so much for coming back. And if you are a brand new listener, then welcome. We are very, very happy to have you here with us at the Your Wedding Unlimited podcast. So today I had a whole intro planned and I truly have blanked. Even looking at my notes, can't think of anything that I was supposed to be saying. So apologies for that. We're just going to dive straight in. Today, we're talking about wedding dress shopping, which I know will not apply to everyone. But I think you can take a lot of the tips from this, even if you're not going for like a traditional wedding dress. If you're going for something completely different, maybe you're going for like a suit instead, or you're just not a dress type of person, or you're not going for traditional wedding wear, I would still take this in mind. A lot of the tips are transferable to any kind of clothes shopping experience. But yeah, we're going to talk about the wedding dress experience today, how to get the best out of it, how to feel your best, how to find your perfect wedding dress, all that good stuff. And yeah, let's get straight on into it. Now, the first thing I want to talk about when it comes to wedding dress shopping is mindset. Okay, because I think this can be a really overwhelming time for a lot of people and it's a big moment, particularly if you've been thinking about going wedding dress shopping for like your whole life. Well, maybe not whole life, but like a lot of your life. You've been dreaming of it and you've thought, oh, I can't wait to go and have that experience and try on all the dresses and find my perfect dream dress. It's a big thing. And it can very easily get overwhelming because I say this all the time, the inspiration out there and the ideas out there, it's endless. It's endless. And like we're constantly being inundated with new ideas as well, incredible ideas, but there's so much out there. So I completely get why it can feel like an overwhelming experience and something that you're just like, oh, this is just going to be horrible and stressful. And I just am not looking forward to it. So the first thing that I would say is that mindset is everything. Go with a positive mindset. Go looking forward to it, like make it an enjoyable experience for yourself. And the biggest thing I would say is to go with an open mindset. So I don't recommend going into your wedding dress experience saying, this is the type of dress I want. I only want to try that on. And yeah, that's what we're going to do. Done. It might work for you. Absolutely, it might work for you. But I would urge you to go in with an open mind and say, I really like these styles and I think this is going to suit me. And I think this is the kind of thing I want to go for. But try on other stuff that you would never even pick up at the same time. Even just if to rule it out, I really think wedding dresses are different than anything else you're ever going to wear in your lifetime if you're going for like the wedding dress type dress. So you don't know what suits you unless you wear a ball gown on the regular, which not many of us do. And if you do get to, I'm very jealous. What kind of job do you do? Please let me know. I think we just don't know what suits us and what we might like or what we might feel really good in and what might sit in all the right places and hug all the right places and make us feel really good about ourselves. We don't know because we usually, we're in a jumper and jeans. Or we're in a uniform going to work, or we're not in wedding dress attire. So I would absolutely say go with an open mindset, be open to new ideas that like your family and friends might suggest if you bring them with you, but definitely be open to ideas from the people that work wherever you go. because they see this day in, day out. They know exactly what looks good on all sorts of different figures and types of people. Let them pick you like a wild card out. Let them pick you a couple of options and say, this is what I like. I really like this. But could you, like, looking at me, chuck me a couple of options that I haven't chosen that I wouldn't think to choose, and just try them on. And if you try them on and hate them, absolutely fine. At least then you know. But you need to rule things out. It's the same with anything else. You need to really narrow down what you don't like and what you do like. So, and do you know what? I think it makes it more fun going in with an open mindset to something like that, being able to say, yeah, I really like this, but I'll try on anything because it's fun. You're only going to do this experience once, hopefully. So why not try on anything possible? You're never going to get to go in and try them on again, really, are you? So, yeah, absolutely recommend that. Go and be open to anything. The next thing I would recommend for wedding dress shopping is to bring a good support system with you. And I think this is like, this can make or break your experience, I think, in my opinion. I think the people that you bring with you, those are the voices that you're going to hear when you're trying on the dresses. Those are the reactions that you're going to see when you're trying on the dresses. And these are the first people that are going to see you in a wedding dress. If it's your first time getting married, or, I don't know, maybe you do get to wear them for a living. Maybe you work in the shop and you get to try dresses on all the time. So people have seen you in dresses forever. Maybe that's the case. But for most of us, you haven't tried them on before. And I think it's nice to have the right people around you in that moment. So think about what's going to work for you. Like, are you the kind of person that wants to have loads of people there and loads of opinions? Certain people will say you can only bring a certain amount of, like, people. You can't bring more than 3 or 4 people to the shop, say. They might have flexibility on that. You've just got to ask them. But for the most part, like, you won't be able to bring like 20 people. So think about who you want there. Do you want your mum there? Do you want your nan there? Like, who's close to you? Who's been around you all your life? If you're having 7 bridesmaids, are you going to bring all of them? Is that going to be realistic? Do you want all of their opinions? Like, we might love our friends, but there are certain people that you think, I just don't want to hear what you have to say about my wedding dress, because some people just are too opinionated about things like that. And they don't know when it's time to not share that opinion, because you could be feeling incredible in a dress and they're like, oh, no, don't like that. And then suddenly you're disheartened about your dream dress that you felt incredible in. We don't want that. We don't want any negativity. We don't want, nastiness, or we just don't want that. We don't want that on that day. We want people that are going to build us up. Like, be honest with us. If you want honesty, bring people that are going to be honest with you. But we want people that are going to make us feel really good on the day. So my recommendation would be to bring people whose opinion you value and trust, and leave everyone else at home, to be perfectly honest with you. And if that means that you bring 2 or 3 people, maybe you are having 6 or 7 bridesmaids and you just choose a select few, do that. One thing that I like to remember throughout the wedding process is you're probably going to upset some people along the way, because people get upset about all sorts of things. And I think you just need to remember that it's not your problem. That's not your problem. This is your wedding day. It's your wedding planning journey. You get to choose exactly how you feel and exactly how it goes. And if that means that you just bring your mum and your auntie and your maid of honor and one other bridesmaid, because you think, I actually think they're going to give me like the best opinion and the best, I just want a few people there. I don't want too much. And I think these are going to be the best people with me. And if your other bridesmaids are getting funny about that, again, I don't, maybe they're not very nice friends. I don't know. But some people can be really nice people and great friends, but they just say the wrong thing at the wrong time. And you think, I just don't want you there, Susan. No, thank you. Stay at home. So choose what you want. And do you know what you can always do? What I think's nice, if you don't have them there when you're choosing the wedding dress, if you want them to see the dress before, you could keep it a surprise. Absolutely. Always nice to have like a surprise on the wedding day and capture that picture where like they see you in your dress for the first time. But if you aren't fussed about having a surprise on the day and they're really keen to see your dress, have a little like private wedding dress try on party, like one evening before the wedding day. And you could do it when like they're trying on their bridesmaids dresses. If you've ordered them online or something like that, you could have a try on night where they try on their bridesmaids dresses and get to choose those. And then you try on your wedding dress that you've chosen and they get to see that as well. So like, you've chosen it, that's their choice. They've got to be nice about it. And if they're not, I'd be cutting them at that point. If they're being rude at that point, when you've got it and you're happy with it, then yeah, that's what I would be doing. There's options, there's ways around things. The main point being, just take a couple of people with you that are really going to make that experience enjoyable. I think that's really, really important. Now, whilst I've said to go with an open mind, I think it's really important as well to do your research. So have a look beforehand. What kind of styles do you like to look at. What kind of styles do you think you would look good in? If you've tried on, maybe you do events or you've been to, I can't think of like even bridesmaids dresses that you've tried on before. What style of those were they like? Did you like how they sat on you? Did you like the way they fit, the way that they cinched in here and kind of sat here? Think about styles that you might like and just have those front of mind. Again, with an open mind, but I think it's always good to have some kind of an idea of the kind of things you want to try on. Like if you know you definitely don't want to try on a big, massive, puffy princess dress, that's a really good starting point. You might want to try on something with a bit of fluff, a bit of like floatiness, and but like not the big massive skirt. That's fine. On the other hand, you might know absolutely nothing. You might say absolutely nothing can be super, super fitted. Don't want anything super fitted to me. I want something flowy. Absolutely fine. But just be open to different styles around that because there are endless styles. There's so many different styles of dress. So have an idea and then like expand from there. One important thing to do, if there are particular wedding dress designers that you like, so, if you've been browsing through Instagram and you've thought, oh, these dresses are stunning. Like, I always like their dresses. I think they're beautiful and incredible. Have a look up where they're stocked because you won't just be able to walk into any wedding dress shop and find that designer. Many wedding dress designers are restricted and only stocked in certain places. So you might only be able to get it one place in the county that you live in one shop because they're exclusive to that area. So really important to have a look at things like that. And if there's particular designers you're really keen on, book appointments to go to those different stores and try them on. Likewise, whilst you are doing your research, read reviews for the shops that you're going to as well. It's not just about the dresses inside, it's about the experience that you're going to have when you're there. I'm not going to say that wedding dress shops and the people that work there aren't lovely, amazing people because I know that a lot of them are, but there are places, just like any other shop you go to, where the customer service isn't great, the people just aren't that nice, the vibes aren't that great. I can't think of any that I've been to or that I know of that experience with, but it's always worth double checking. Just read through the reviews, check that everybody there is giving glowing reviews about their experience. You might always get one that's had an off time and just not had a good day. But for the most part, make sure that they're a really nice place to go to. Check that they were getting 4 and 5 stars all around. And that's going to really help you to have a nice experience as well, just to make sure that everything's on point, We're getting a 5-star gold luxury experience when we're going wedding dress shopping. If you are feeling really stressed and overwhelmed about the process and you're just thinking, oh God, I just not looking forward to it at all, I would recommend trying to do like a weekday appointment if you can, purely because they're going to be quieter and they might have a bit more time for you and you're not going to feel quite as rushed and overwhelmed and stressed and like, oh my God. Obviously, you can always go back if you've booked in an appointment and you only get an hour, you can book in another one. But I would suggest if you can, I know it doesn't work for everyone's work commitments and certain people that you wanted to be there might not be able to make it, but a weekday appointment might make things a bit more chill, a bit more quiet for you and might make that experience feel a little bit less overwhelming. So that's a really good tip as well. You also need to know your budget when you're going wedding dress shopping. So you need to know this before you go. Certain wedding dress shops won't stock anything under £2,000, under £3,000. They have their own budgets, and depending on what designers they stock is going to affect that. So if you've got a budget of £1,000 or less, you don't even want to be going to try on dresses from a shop that doesn't even cater to that budget. It's a waste of your time. It's a waste of their time. It's going to get you falling in love with things that you can't afford and can't have. So let's mitigate these issues before they happen. Let's think things through, know your budget, and also have a spending buffer as well. So go in and say, I want to spend £1,000 on my wedding dress. That's the number I'd like to spend. But 1,500 is my absolute maximum. If I found something for 1,500 that I fell in love with, I would buy something for 1,500. That's the maximum budget. But go in with like that and a buffer. And it's always a really nice, it gives you some room to play with. And then you can kind of compare and say, okay, we've found 2 dresses that I've narrowed it down to. One of them's £1,200 and one of them £1,600. So that's way over my absolute buffer. So I'm going to have to go with this one. And you might need to you might find that you go wedding dress shopping with a certain budget, come home and think, I didn't see anything I liked that was actually within my budget. The ones I fell in love with and felt the most comfortable in cost X, Y, Z. Do I need to revisit the budget and see if I can stretch another £200 out of it to help with that budget? Or do I need to try and find something that gives a similar vibe for my actual budget somewhere else? So you might need to go back again. Like you might not find something the first time, and that's absolutely okay. Also, when we're talking budget, consider if your wedding budget considers or includes, all the accessories too. So when you've set your budget for this is what I'm spending on my wedding dress, have you included a veil? Have you included jewelry, accessories, shoes? You don't have to include it in that budget, but if you've when you've gone through and allocated, we're going to spend this much on this and this much on this and this much on this, have you got a section that accounts for veil, jewelry, shoes? Or were you planning on including it in that wedding budget? Because that's something you need to take into account as well. If you're going in with £1,000 budget, that also needs to include shoes, veil, jewelry, everything else. Your wedding dress budget has suddenly been cut to something completely different. So think those things through before. I think it's really beneficial to go in with a mindset of knowing where we're at, what we can spend, what we can afford. And it gives you that freedom to then enjoy yourself on the day. You're not stressing about the money, wondering, can I afford this? What's my budget going to be? Am I going to fall in love and then go home and realize I can't afford it? Go in knowing where you're at, and you're going to enjoy the experience a hell of a lot more. Something to consider when you're actually going to the wedding dress appointment, where you're going to try them on, is to wear the right underwear. You'll see this in all of like the lists of things to remember when you're Googling and researching, but wear something similar to what you think you might want to wear on the day. And if you don't know what kind of style you're going to go for, wear something nude at the very least. Don't wear black, don't wear white, because white stands out even more against like the different shades of white, like you'll notice it. So nude is always a go-to, and wear something comfortable, but again, similar to what you might think you would wear on the day. Don't be bringing out your bright pink neon bra and knickers set for a wedding dress try on, because it's all you're going to notice when you've got the dresses on, and it's just not going to be the vibe. So don't do that. Another great idea when you're kind of in the midst of wedding planning, you've got some ideas floating around. Maybe by the time you go to start trying on wedding dresses, you've booked your venue, you've got your color scheme down, you've started thinking about bridesmaids dresses or certain things, I don't know, maybe some decor. I would be encouraging you to think about the vibe of your wedding day, because that's going to help you to choose the style of wedding dress that you want to choose as well. So if you're going for like a really rustic country barn type feel that's like real kind of outdoorsy and, all of those kind of vibes, are you going to go in and choose a real elegant, structured, classic kind of ball gown that you typically wear at like a church wedding? You can. Again, there's no rules, but if you're looking for like a cohesive vibe, something consistent that makes your day feel like it all kind of ties in together, maybe that's the kind of style that you wouldn't go for. You'd go for something a bit more floaty, a bit more, fits with the vibe. I think regardless, you're going to look stunning, obviously. But I know for me, if I was planning something that was, big, bright, and fun and all those kind of things, I wouldn't be going for certain types of dresses, because I think, well, that just doesn't fit with the vibe. Not the vibe. Sequins don't go here. We want something different. There's certain things that I'd be taking into account and just thinking, oh, it doesn't quite fit with my mood board. So I'm gonna go for a different style. So if that's something that's important to you, think about that before. And it's gonna help you when you're choosing styles on the day as well, and think, oh, that would look gorgeous at this venue and that would look great here. So let's try that on. At the end of the day, there are millions and millions and millions of dresses out there. I don't believe there is a one dress for every person kind of situation. I don't believe that at all. I think there are hundreds of dresses that are perfect for each individual. And it's just about choosing the right one that you feel amazing in for that day. And it could be anything. So don't get too tied down with like, oh, that's my one perfect dress. What if I find another one that's amazing? You will find another one that's amazing. This is the thing I think people get stuck on. Like they'll go and try on dresses and think, oh, I love it so much. What if there's another one out there that's amazing? Of course there is. Of course there is. But like the question is, do you feel amazing in this one? Can you see yourself walking down the aisle, having your wedding, getting married to the love of your life, and still enjoying looking at yourself in that dress in those pictures for years and years and years to come? That's the end goal. And if you get to renew your vows, then you can choose another dress another time. And do you know what? I get it. It's a shame, really, that we can't just wear big, fancy wedding dresses every day of the week. Just a different one every day. I do think that's a sad thing. It makes me think back to when people just got to wear ball gowns and dresses, in different eras, and they just get to look fancy every single day. I can't imagine it was very comfortable, but they would have looked great. So I do get it. It's a sad time sometimes, but yeah, something to think about, something to ponder. Now, if you are going wedding dress shopping, if you're about to go, say you're listening to this and you're going tomorrow, your first time ever trying on wedding dresses, and you've booked an appointment at a place that you're really excited about, and you know the styles you want to try on, you're really excited about it, you don't need to come home with a wedding dress at your first appointment, even your second appointment. You don't need to. If you do, amazing. It means you found the perfect dress. But don't get tied to this idea of, if I don't find my wedding dress at the first time that we go, oh, what a disaster. That's just not the case. You might go to 3 or 4 different places till you find the perfect one. And then you might circle back around to the first one. That happens a lot, actually. People circling back to like the very first dress and being like, oh, it was perfect. I just needed to confirm that it was perfect by trying on 50 other different dresses. Totally get that. But give yourself that freedom and that leeway to say, it's okay if I don't come home with a dress straight away. Don't be disheartened. Keep that excitement. Just, it means you get to go again. Bonus. If you find your dress the first time, it means you're done. The wedding dress shopping experience is over and you don't get to keep trying on different dresses. So try and spin it that way and look at it as a positive. It's great either way. And one final huge point that I want to make very, very clear and get stuck in everybody's minds is that you need to give yourself enough time to find your wedding dress, to get it custom made, to get it sent over, to get it altered 2, 3 times. You need to allow that time. You have to, otherwise you are going to struggle. I know there are plenty of people out there that will come and plan a wedding in 6 months, and they've just decided we're going to get married and we're going to do it in 6 months, and that's the timeline. Fine. That's what you'll have to work with. That's great. But if you've got the time, if you're planning a wedding over 2, even 3 years maybe, you really want to give yourself a year. A year is a really good amount of time to be trying on wedding dresses. Give yourself time. If you need to go, a few times, give yourself a few weeks to go to a few different shops and find the perfect dress. A lot of the time, these dresses will be custom made, like, for you. So they'll have the samples in the store, they'll have the ones that they can make for you. You choose it, they take your measurements, and then they go and make it from scratch for you. So that could take 8 months. It does sometimes. Like, they've got a list of ones they're working through. It's intricate, it takes time. You need the time for it to go and be made. And then they'll tell you when it's come back in. You go in, you try it on, it won't fit perfectly. So then they make it fit perfectly. And that might take 1 alteration, 2 alterations, and then you'll get your final alteration, a few weeks before, maybe a week before, just to make sure that everything fits perfectly. And then you take it home. So you need time. You can't be going in a couple of weeks before and being like, oh God, I haven't got my wedding dress yet. Oh, if that is you, by the way, please don't tell me. I don't even want to hear the horror stories about people leaving it last minute. That's not for me. Unless you've had a real nightmare where something's happened to the dress and you've got to go find a last minute one, different story. But if you've had the time and you just chose not to go, you have none of my sympathy, because you need to give yourself time. So shorter timelines, like I said, it's definitely doable, but you could really restrict your options there. And if you have your heart set on a certain style, or like I said earlier, a particular designer, a particular dress that you're really keen on, you need to give yourself that time. And a lot of the time as well, sometimes dresses, like, they stop making them. And because new styles come in, new trends come in, new seasons come in, so they'll say, we're not stocking this anymore. Actually, they're not making this anymore. It's being taken off the line. So if you have your eye on something and you think, I'd love to try on that dress and see if it's a perfect fit for me, go and do it as soon as you can. Or call them and say, how long is this going to be in the line for? How long is this going to be in stock for? Because I'm planning on coming in the next few months. Will it still be there? Or do I need to push up my timeline a bit? Ultimately, guys, I think, I hope these tips haven't overwhelmed you for a start, but hopefully they've made you feel, calm and excited about the wedding dress shopping process. And hopefully they've given you a few things to think about and prepare for beforehand. But ultimately, you just need to enjoy that process. It's like anything else in the wedding planning journey. You just need to let it be what it will be and enjoy it. Book in for a few places, take your favorite people. They'll usually offer you a glass of fizz. Enjoy it. Go for a nice lunch after and talk about all of the dresses that you've tried on. Look at the pictures again. This is actually another thing whilst we're talking. Some places won't let you take pictures of the dresses on. So you'll, like, try on a dress and they won't let you take pictures of them, which I don't agree with. And wedding dress shop owners might disagree with me. And I'd love to know a bit more about the reasoning behind that, actually. I think it comes from, they don't want you to take pictures of the dress because they think you'll go and find it cheaper somewhere else. And to be quite honest with you, if I'm going to go and find a dress cheaper somewhere else, I'm going to do it anyway, whether I've got the picture or not. So, you'd let me take a picture or not, it's not going to stop me from doing that. I would personally never go and try dresses on somewhere that wouldn't let me take pictures in the dress, because my whole day, aside from getting married and marrying the love of my life, my whole day is being captured on photos and film. So I want to take a picture of myself in the dress and make sure I look good on a photo in the dress. Thank you very much. I wouldn't be going anywhere where I can't take a picture to look back on later, particularly if you're not coming home with that dress and you are, you need some more time to think about it. So maybe you've got a couple of appointments in one day. You've gone to the first place and you've thought, I'm obsessed with this dress. I want to take a picture of it. And then when you go to the next place, you try on a dress that's similar but different. You want to take a picture in that dress and compare the two. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But some places get really weird about it and they won't let you do that. And I don't like that. Just let me take a picture on my own phone in a dress. Please. Thank you. So yeah, it might not be an issue for you. That might not bother you. It would bother me. Yeah. I don't like that very much. We went somewhere when my mum was getting married and they wouldn't let us take a picture in the dress. And I was like, excuse me, why? I want to look back on this again and again. She looks great. But they wouldn't let me. So it's okay. We got loads of pictures of it after when we took it home because she loved it and she bought it. But yeah, it's something to think about. Some places get funny about it. And I really like the idea of having those pictures to look back on and compare. And also, as well, keep you excited about it. You know, when you're like itching to get married and it feels so far away and you're like, oh my God, I've still got to wait another year to get married. You can look back on that picture and be like, oh, there's the dress. That's what I'm going to be wearing. Like, how nice is that to have those little snippets and pockets of things that you can keep looking back on to like keep you motivated and excited and just kind of scratch that itch when you're just dying for the day to come round. So, yeah, I think I'm a big advocate for taking pictures in potential wedding dresses. So, yeah, those are the main tips I think that I can think of right now to do with preparing for wedding dress shopping. Take it, take it as it comes, enjoy the process. It doesn't need to be stressful. It's supposed to be enjoyable. Ultimately, it's supposed to be something that's a really nice experience and something that I advocate all the time for in wedding planning. We're not just planning for like the wedding day. That's the end goal. That's the big thing we're planning for. But like the whole planning process should be something that you're like, oh, that was amazing. Remember when I got to go wedding dress shopping? Amazing. Remember when we went cake tasting? Amazing. Remember when we went and did our venue tour and like saw our place for the first time? Amazing. These memories that come together all kind of come together to bring this whole kind of like package of wedding memories together for you to look back on forever. It's not just the wedding day, it's the whole process. And the way you feel through that process travels through to the day itself. If you felt miserable and stressed and anxious and unhappy throughout your whole wedding planning process, you are going to get to the wedding day and think, oh, thank God. And I hate that. And I hate that so much. I don't want anyone to be feeling like, I want you to be feeling like, oh my God, it's finally here. This is amazing. I'm so excited. I don't want anyone to be thinking, well, thank God that's over. And thank God we can finally get married. No, that's sad. No, thank you. None of that, please. We want joy and excitement and all of the fun, good stuff. None of the sadness, please. No negativity around here. But yes, I'm going to stop rambling on. I hope these tips were helpful for you if you're about to go wedding dress shopping. Again, it applies to anything. If you're going suit shopping, wear the right underwear, lads. Don't wear anything too colourful and bright. It probably doesn't apply the same for men. But a lot of these tips are transferable. Do your research. Think about what style of suit you want. Think about the colours you might want. Look up certain designers. Look up reviews for certain places. It's all transferable. And if you're not wearing a wedding dress at all and you're going for something different, something unique, something colourful, the same applies. Go and make yourself, even if you're not getting it from a traditional wedding shop, make it an enjoyable experience. Order a load in if you're getting it online instead and have like a party at home with friends. Get some pizzas in, get a takeaway, some drinks, and try on a load of dresses. You can make that experience for yourself at home as well. It doesn't just have to be in the wedding dress shop. So if you're not doing something super traditional and you want to do something your own way and a little bit different, you can still make this feel just as amazing, just as incredible, and all of these tips still apply. So do with that what you will. But thank you so much for listening. If you have any other questions about wedding dress shopping or wedding outfit shopping or any of that stuff, pop me a message, pop me an email, pop me a DM. If you have a story that you want to share, I always want to hear those as well. So let me know that. My email for the podcast is the Your Wedding Unlimited podcast at gmail.com. It'll be in the show notes. So you can go straight there. Along with all of the other links that are always there as well. So thank you so much for listening. Make sure to follow, subscribe, and leave a review if you're enjoying this podcast so that I can keep making it and keep bringing you lots of fun inspiration. Until next time, I will speak to you then. Speak to you next Wednesday for our next episode, and happy planning. Bye. Thank you for listening to the Your Wedding Unlimited podcast. I hope you're feeling inspired and excited to create your dream wedding day and those lasting memories. Don't forget to hit that follow or subscribe button so you never miss an episode. I'll be back next Wednesday with more tips, advice, and inspiration. In the meantime, don't be a stranger. Come and find me on Instagram and TikTok at Your Wedding Unlimited, where I share even more wedding ideas and behind the scenes insights. You can also watch these episodes on YouTube at Your Wedding Unlimited. And if you're looking for even more support, come and join my private Facebook group, Your Wedding Unlimited. It's an amazing community of fun and authentic engaged couples, packed with extra tips, advice, and insights to guide you along your journey. If you have any questions or need more info, you can DM me or send me an email at yourweddingunlimitedpodcast@gmail.com. All links and details will be in the show notes. Until next time, happy planning!